Alright guys, I haven't made a video in a very long time, and I apologize, but I just wanted to give you a quick little update slash like how-to thing. This is my Tamiya King Hauler 6x6, and as you can tell there's no fifth wheel on it because I broke it. I hyperextended it, oops. But as you can see, I've got the military theme going on. I've got the olive drab green with the everything else blacked out. Personally, I think it looks sick. I've got an Intigi bumper, I believe, but it's all metal. Just plastic dually wheels and these rock hard tires that I absolutely hate, and I am going to change them. But yeah, I've got an LED kit in there and a pintle hitch, full universal joint drive shafts. Forgive me, this thing is filthy. There it goes. This drive shaft right there, it's basically just sorry, my finger's in the way. One of those ends that connects to your axle, and then you have to cut about 1/8 of an inch this way of the metal piece, and then yeah, sorry about that, slight interruption. But anyway, you just cut that on both ends, and then I've just got a little screw holding them together, and it worked perfectly. Nothing binds, it all works perfectly. Those are just metal ends with plastic shafts. But what I wanted to show you how to do today is I've got these, both rear axles are locked, meaning posi track, both tires spin. But I've got my front differential is open. It's unlocked. I'm gonna lock it right now, and I figured I'd show you a really easy way to do that, so you don't have to get the JB weld like I did with the rear axles. I watched a guy, Judd Phillips, you may know him on YouTube, JRPRC. I actually learned this trick from him, one of his 6x6 builds. So I'm gonna flip the truck over and I'll show you what you need to do first. Okay, so I got the truck flipped over. I've got one of the stock 3-speed transmissions in here, a short little drive shaft, and then one of these metal transfer cases, and then just out to the axles. Simple. I've already got the steering unhooked from the servo, got it where I needed it, and remembered where the horn needed to sit on it. So first off, obviously, you take your tires off both sides, then just undo your shackle mounts, and then your servo and your drive shaft. So we'll get the axle off of the truck, and I'll be right back. Alright, so we got the axle off of the truck, and it's right here. And you've got your leaf springs, your pumpkin, and all that. Next up, what we need to do is we're going to get these front tires off, pull these leaf springs off, and then start to split the axle casing. Alright, so as you can see, I got all those 8 screws out. I'm not even getting what I'm supposed to film. I got the 8 screws out, 4 on each side of the diff. Got the front cover pulled off. So now you can see we got our spool and our shafts. What we need to do is we need to get, really all we have to do is pull one knuckle off, so we can pull the differential, or the axles out of the diff and pull the differential out. Then we got to split the case open, and the gear inside gears is what we're working with. So I'll get that done and we'll be right back. Alright, so I got the axles out, the one knuckle pulled off, and I've got the main differential spool out. So I've got the 3 little screws out. So now what we need to do is pull this little cap off on the back, which will give us access to all of our little spider gears. Pull this top gear off, and that can just be dropped back down into the cup. Now what we do is we need to take this little, I don't know what you'd call this, but your little set of spiders. Kind of hard to do with one hand. I don't have a tripod for my phone. And we just pull one of these gears off, set it aside for a second, then we get that sort of set back into place. And then we take this gear, and we just put it not on the shaft, but we put it kind of between those two gears and just turn it around so it kind of goes in between those other two gears, nice and snug. And you got to try and get it down in there. It can be a pain to line up with the bottom bevel gear. So I'm gonna get that all set in there for you guys, and I'll show you the finished result. Alright, so I got it fidgeted in there. See if I can get my phone to focus on that for you guys. But what you just put it between those gears and get it nice and flush. And then all we have to do now is put our other bevel gear back on there and our cap back on our spool, and then put our axle back together. So I'll get it all put back together right before the casing, the diff casing, and I'll show you what it should look like back when it's done. Alright, so I got the differential put back in there and all the shafts, and I got that knuckle hooked back up, and you see she still spins like she's supposed to. Now the difference is, if I could turn this one, I can't, that one's gonna spin with it now. It's not gonna spin the opposite way because it's one solid. It's like I just built a locker inside of there. So both, when my truck is driving, both wheels are gonna be powered now. It's not one of those weird whacked out limited slip thingies, I don't know. But I'm gonna throw some grease back up in there now because I kind of wiped a lot of it off. I'm just using some standard marine grease. Keeps a good seal out, keep water out of there, keep stuff rusting, protects your bearings. And we'll get this casing put back together, and while I'm at it, I'm gonna take my leaf springs, I'm gonna grind that rivet out of there, and I'm gonna take those helper springs off of there and just leave the one main spring to help it be a little bit softer so it flexes a little better. So I'm not gonna have the heavy trailers on the front of the truck, so I want the front to flex a little bit, and I put the stiffer ones in the back. So alright, I'll get her done and we'll start putting it back on the truck. Alright, so we got the axle put back together. I'll show you. It's a locked differential now, so not going to be slipping anymore. So we're going to flip it over, get this hook back up onto the king hauler, and I'll show you the end result. Alright guys, just to wrap up the how-to, sorry for the long video, but hopefully you guys have an idea on an easier way to lock your differentials if you want to. But as you can see, the front axle's all put back together. I didn't end up taking those helper springs off because my Dremel decided it wanted to quit working right when I wanted to do it, but I got it all hooked back up, steering and everything, driveline. But as you notice, just by turning the wheel, I can turn the whole system now. Before, if I turned this wheel, if I turned it this way, this wheel would just turn that way and drivelines wouldn't even spin. But now it's a locked system, so I say let's throw a battery in it really quick, and for the last minute we'll just crawl it on the edge of the pool table. Alright, let's see how she does. You can already tell she doesn't like to turn now. Piece of cake. Ha! Whoa. A little trigger happy. But there you go guys. Quick how-to video on how to lock a differential on one of these trucks. If you guys wanted to know to convert your king hauler to a 6x6 or night hauler or whatever truck you have, the front axle is a Tamiya TLT 01 axle. They go for about $60 depending on where you are. I live in the US, so It was about 60 bucks for the brand new kit, and I put bearings in it, and then your drive lines in that. So hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. See ya.